Well, my wife had to work today, so I guess I will go put on some clothes and do something productive.
That's a literal cesspool right there. If 2020 were a body of water. Oh man, I don't really know why, but I have been super anxious and a little depressed lately. Which is why I decided that even though I have absolutely no place to go, that I'd go out on a ride and talk about motorcycles, because motorcycles is definitely not a substitute for professional therapy or medication if you need it or anything like that. However, riding a motorcycle always makes me feel better. At least while I'm riding. It's not a cure by any means, but it definitely is a way to cope. That is why, even if it's cold, I still ride my motorcycle to work every day. I just bundle up and wear heated gloves and whatnot, because that time that I spend on the motorcycle to and from work is oftentimes the best parts of my day. And riding my motorcycle to work helps me to cope with the fact of all the stuff I'm going to put up with at work, and sometimes, or oftentimes, the ride on my way home helps me to decompress and relax a little bit on the way home, and that way I don't unload all of my work baggage on my wife when I get home, which I'm sure she appreciates that as well. So, in fact, there are definitely days when I'm anxious or depressed and my wife will tell me to go out and go for a ride. So, I definitely have a keeper there, that's for sure. I started this video probably, I don't know, 2 months ago, when it was a whole lot warmer. But I decided that I needed to finish this video. It looks like it's a lot warmer than it is right now. It's been pretty cold, and so it is pretty much in the middle of winter. But as I mentioned early on, I want to talk about motorcycles and depression. And one of the reasons why I continue to ride a motorcycle even when it's cold. Now, I'm not completely crazy. I don't ride my motorcycle when there is ice, but if it's raining and it's above freezing, I'll put on rain gear and ride. If it is below freezing, even if it is really cold, but there's no ice on the roads, I will go ahead and ride. And so there's a lot of reasons for that. Part of the reason why I ride so much is, well, honestly, I just really enjoy it. But also, riding is really therapeutic for me. I can be having the absolute worst day, and then on my way home from work, by the time I get home from work, because I rode my motorcycle, I will be calm down, and it makes it so I don't unload on my wife and tell her all about my bad day. It just calms my stress a lot. And I'm not saying that motorcycles replace therapy. They absolutely don't. There is definitely a need for some people to have therapy, and I've gone to a therapist before. But riding a motorcycle greatly helps with my anxiety. It helps with my depression. It's hard to have a bad time while you're riding a motorcycle. And so when people see me riding a motorcycle in the winter or in the rain, they probably think that I don't have a car or my car doesn't run, when in reality I'm riding just because I want to. I think anyone who rides a motorcycle would agree with me that it's really therapeutic and it helps out. There is definitely, in today's culture, there's definitely a stigma. If a man admits he has depression or anxiety, everybody thinks that he's going to go out and do some violence. And that's bad because that keeps men from admitting they have a problem and actually getting help. Also, in the generation that I grew up in, if a man was depressed or anxious or had anything like that, he was always told to just suck it up and be a man. And it's those kind of thoughts and that kind of teaching that convinces men to kill themselves. They think there's no other way. Riding can definitely help, but if you know somebody who is suffering with depression or anxiety, reach out to them, let them know that you're there, and don't be one of those people that tells people that to just snap out of it or that it's all in their head or anything like that. Sometimes it's okay to not be okay. And with all of the unhealthy coping mechanisms that there are out there, motorcycles is definitely one of the healthy ways that we can cope with anxiety. And if you're thinking about riding a motorcycle, you should definitely give it a try. And if there are times when your significant other, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, they want to go on a ride and you don't really think they should, maybe you should let them go because they may be suffering from something, and letting them go may calm them down, may help them out. There are definitely days where my wife can tell that I'm not quite all right, and she will tell me that I should go on a ride. And when I get back from the ride, I feel so much better. One of the reasons that riding a motorcycle can help is that, unlike driving a car, where you can be doing a whole bunch of other things and thinking about a whole bunch of other things, riding a motorcycle requires all your attention and all your focus. And so you have to think about what you're doing and about what everybody else is doing, and it doesn't give you as much time to fixate on your problems. It's just you and the bike and the road. And that is really a good thing for getting out of that spot in your head. I didn't start riding a motorcycle until I was in my 30s. And honestly, I wish that I had started riding a motorcycle years sooner. If I knew what I knew now, I would have started riding a motorcycle when I was in my 20s. But there's nothing I can do about that. But I do know that motorcycling is an extremely important part of my life, and I'm going to keep riding. And luckily, my wife supports me in that, and she encourages me to ride. So if motorcycling has helped you in any way or helped with your depression or anxiety, tell me about it in the comments. And if you have any suggestions on things you'd like me to talk about in the future, go ahead and put that in the comments as well. Thanks for watching, and please ride safe. I've always wanted to, so I'm going to check this place out via drone.
That voice getting louder, it keeps my back to the wall. Fear starts taking me over, and I can't help but fall to my knees. Oh, can't you see, you won't let me be. Tears me down till I'm begging for rest. Heart so loud as it beats in my chest. Can't get down, no, we can't have the best.